Hey guys, today I want to talk about the hand. It is always a really exciting thing when you start to get movement and see movement coming back after losing movement in your arm and hand after a stroke. So, today I wanted to give you some really straightforward, simple hand strengthening and coordination exercises that you can do very simply at home with just day to day things, right? Now, some of you may not have movement coming back in your hand, and that is okay. There is a whole nother set of exercises and things that I would actually recommend that you do, starting with lots of daily stretches, visualization, and mirror therapy. Those are all phenomenal techniques when you're still kind of waiting for those flickers to pop up. So, if this is you, definitely check out those videos because I will go in a lot more detail about those specific techniques while you're waiting to get to this point. So today, this is going to be more for those of you who are starting to get some movement back to the point where you can actually, maybe if you can't close your hand all the way, but maybe start picking up some small light items. So that's where we're going to start today. So if you are able to slowly close or isolate a pinch, like thumb and index together, or close the hand, the first activity I'm going to show you is something that I actually had someone do at work yesterday. We started very, very simply with cotton balls, okay? The reason why I do like to use cotton balls in the beginning because it is obviously it's very light, but it has some size to it, right? And you can also get jumbo cotton balls if the smaller standard ones are a little too small. But again, in the very beginning, if you're able to kind of isolate out that pinch, or even if you're having to kind of use two or three fingers, just getting your hand around it enough to sustain that grasp, to hold and pick it up. Cotton balls are great for that, right? Sometimes anything else is a little too heavy and it can be discouraging. So usually, number one, we'll start with cotton balls. I always encourage folks to try to really isolate out those pinches. A lot of times in the beginning, your hand is trying to recruit and use every finger and muscle it can, right? But we want to be real functional with it and get as much precision and isolation as we can in the beginning. So get a handful of cotton balls. You can grab yourself little cups. It doesn't matter. You can grab, these are just regular food storage containers, something. I always try to make some kind of game out of it because if you do, it's a little bit more fun. But in the beginning, I'm talking bare bones basic. This is the affected hand. All I want you to do is pinch, so grasp and release. Now, for some people, if you have weakness in the shoulder, even trying to drop an item into something as tall as a cup is a little too much because that's also going to require some lift and flexion from the shoulder. So if that's the case, you can set up a little target spot on the table itself or something lower like a plate. It really doesn't matter. You're just going to have to adjust based on what your ability level is. But again, repetition is the key, right? It's everything. So it's just as many times as you can, drop and release, drop and release. If there's weakness in the shoulder, make sure that elbow's supported on the table while you work, or you've got somebody there spotting you. So that's number one. Cotton balls. Easy to get your hands on them. I only have a few here, but definitely get a good stack. Work until you feel like you're fatiguing and then rest. Again, the more repetitions, the better. If you can do sets of 20 or 25, 30, that's fine. If not, you kind of start where you are. Do 10 to 12 to 15. Listen to your body though. Your hand will let you know. If you're starting to fatigue, then rest. But you want to do this multiple times a day, two, three, or more times a day throughout the day, every day. That's the key for everything I'm going to tell you today. All right. So number one, nice and light and easy, is cotton balls. Now this next one I was reminded of yesterday. I had a patient who she was pretty much able to do this, but did not have a lot of strength yet. She could almost get full range with the hand, but she couldn't. She didn't have a lot of dexterity yet, and she didn't have a lot of strength to pick up heavier items. But she loves playing cards, and she plays cards with her family a lot when they come to visit. So what we did, I had her in her non-affected side or strong side. She held the deck of cards, And instead of getting super fancy with it, I wasn't trying to have her um, slide the card off, flip it, and place it. I've seen a lot of exercises like that. That's a way you can grade and challenge it if you're able to do that. But for her, we were really just focusing on just engaging that affected hand. So she would take this hand, slide with the thumb, and then activate, get into that pinch with the card and just place it. And it was slow, but she went through the entire deck and placed it. And I believe cards have 52 cards. That's 52 repetitions every time you do it. So that's pretty cool, right? So that's all she did. Slide, pinch, drop. Slide, pinch, or place. You want to control every movement if you can, right? So that's another good one. So we started with nice and easy and light cotton balls. Then you can move on to a deck of cards, slide, grip, and pinch. What else did I have that's nice? Oh, next, if you can, game pieces are great to have. Now, again, I'm telling you things as though you're at home. Obviously, in a therapy clinic, they're going to have a lot of cool, unique manipulatives and things for you to use. But at home, just use what you have. Go to your junk drawer and see what things are light and small. In the beginning, you want to start with things that are a little bit larger, so not so small. Like you don't want little tiny beads. You don't want to mess with paper clips and things like that. Not yet. You want things that are light but have a little bit of size to them. Wooden blocks can be good too, but those also they can be heavy. So just kind of use your judgment there and kind of let that be your lens as you're looking around for things around your house. Next here, this is another thing I do. These are Legos. I don't always use Legos, but if you have things that are shaped kind of like this, whether it's like different game pieces, especially if they're different colors like these are. So again, I say make some kind of game if you can. You don't have to, but it does make it more fun. Or challenging. So sometimes I'll have folks either if they're still very beginning, just one at a time. So put all the reds in this little section, all the blue go here, yellow here. So you get the idea. Or you can try if you're able to. If they have a little bit more dexterity, you can get to more some in-hand manipulation. We'll say you've got 3 or 4 or say 5 of these pieces in your hand and then you're saying, okay, while I'm holding all of these, I'm going to just drop the yellow one, but without dropping the other ones, right? That's a little bit higher level, but it's a good thing to test yourself with, especially in the beginning. If you're able to work, you've got all those fingers moving and working together. It may be very slow and it's tedious, but do the best you can. Again, it's high repetition. I cannot say it enough. Do it as often as you're able to. Rest and then jump back in another hour or two later and just do it multiple times a day. I will throw this out there. I say this to everyone I work with. Just be patient with yourself. I mean, it's easy for us to say. However, fine motor activities when you're in the very beginning and things are very challenging um, and I mentioned it's tedious. A lot of this stuff will feel tedious. Make sure you're in a good headspace before you do it because if you're already feeling um, really tired, maybe it's a rough day, irritable, emotional, whatever the case may be, that actually may not be the best time to do some of this stuff because I've seen it and you need a higher frustration tolerance when you're working on specifically like tasks that are this challenging, especially again when you're first starting to get movement back. So just kind of keep that in mind. There's always a better time and better time to do things. So just listen to your body and kind of know if you're in a good headspace to do it because you don't want to make things any more stressful or hard on yourself. But as often as possible is the goal. All right. So that's kind of covering game pieces. We're still in kind of the lighter range for beginning stages, right? Another thing I'm going to just throw out there, just a little tip. When you're working on a tabled surface, having a towel, washcloth, something like that on the table is fantastic because if you're working with pieces that if it hits the table, will roll or slide. It will limit having a towel here will keep the pieces more stationary. So if they drop or they fall, they're not going to go rolling anywhere. So just a little tip. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of headache, right? So that's that. And then next, back to game pieces. This is chess, obviously. You don't have to do this. I'm just giving you guys ideas. So I just pulled out some of the pawns. And again, this is just for the sake of giving yourself targets and making it more fun. But try, and these are nice and light. Just pinch and place and say, I'm going to fill out all of these squares, right? Pinch, place, pinch, and place. And then once you fill them up, one at a time, take them out and put them back. Or again, use a container or a cup or a plate or something like that to put things, right? Just to give yourself a goal. I find that when you have a specified goal or a target in mind, it just shifts you into a different gear or a level of focus versus just kind of sitting and just repping something out, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But again, when you're working with kind of retraining the brain and reestablishing those neural pathways, especially for fine motor tasks, you want to do slow, controlled, and precise, right? All right, so that's another one. So look around your house and see what game pieces you may have that you can use. Checkers, dice, things like that are all really great to do. So as your hand strength increases, and again, we're focusing on precision and fine motor coordination and control, you can go next level. So you can grade up again. So one of my favorite things to do for that, and again, this is when you've got a little bit more movement and control in that hand. I love to use coins, right? So obviously I see a lot of people just kind of like pick up coins and drop them in a cup, right? That's fine, nothing wrong with that. However, to really challenge yourself, I usually will have people, I'll start with, and I'll say, pick up a quarter, pick up a dime, pick up a nickel, pick up a penny, right? Coins are going to be a little bit harder than some of these game pieces and Legos and blocks and things, right? They have a little heft, a little weight to them, but they're flat, right? And they're all different sizes. So this is a great challenge. So once you have one of each coin in your hand, you're going to say, and again, make a game out of it. I'm going to put all the coins, like say you had a target, or if you're using specific cups, it doesn't matter, whatever you wanted to do. But you could say all the pennies while holding all the coins. I'm going to drop the penny in this cup, right? And then the next cup, I'm going to do the nickel, and then the dime, and then the quarter, right? So you can sort that way. You can also increase and grade it, make it harder. I started with 4 coins. Now maybe do 6 coins, 7 coins, right? So just grab more. The more coins you have in your hand, the harder, the more challenging the task is going to be. You can also, if you're doing this with someone else, they can just call out a coin. All right, let's do drop the quarter, right? And then you have to do the quarter again without um, dropping the other coins, and then you can go back, pick up another coin. There's all different ways to do it. Again, I'm just trying to give you guys ideas. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink any of this. The key, again, I'll say it 100 times, is just repetition, and you need to be consistent. Consistently doing repetitive exercises with as much precision and coordination and isolated, meaning individual pinches, as you can. A lot of times in the beginning, and it's fine, there's so much focus on grasp, 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 right? Which is obviously highly functional. We grasp all the time. But again, as you start to get more movement, now try to isolate out those different pinches, right? The one for the key and this one, all right? Now, to get even more high level on you guys, I've got these little dried beans. These are little chickpeas, right? So again, in it of themselves, they're smaller, so you can just practice picking them up, right? This is the smallest thing I've shown you so far. You could do pinto beans, kidney beans, anything around this size. This is obviously a little bit smaller than that, so that's going to make it more challenging. Make a game out of it. Pinch and place, pinch and drop, right? Also, next, if you can, grab a pair of tweezers. This is pretty high level, and I would say make a target for this one if you can. Pinch, and then you've got to drop it in a specific location, right? And then you can do it that way. It takes a lot more precision to do this. Also, a little bit of resistance and strength to actually activate the tweezers, okay? Not everyone's going to be able to do this, but I want you to know that this is kind of where you want to head to really get that coordination back. Another thing that's really great, especially even if you're not working or you need to use a computer, if you have access to a keyboard, keystrokes are fantastic. I have retrained, I've done a lot of fine motor retraining um, with different folks, particularly when they needed to go back to work not long after they got out of the rehab. Um, typing.com is a great resource. I'll put some information for that in the description, because you can set different typing lessons. You can do the number keystrokes is a good one, because it's a finite set of keys in one section of the board. Um, but just do what you can, check it out, and just see. Just know the sky is the limit. You don't have to just focus on just repetition and boring things. Make it as fun and as engaging and challenging as you can. Okay. A couple more things I did want to show you guys, because I like function, function, function. So if you are needing to do more or wanting to do something more for resistance, but you're getting tired of like the balls and the putty and whatnot, another cool one that I've always liked is just get a bowl, put a little bit of water in it, and then just get a face cloth or a washcloth, and you drop it in the water. Let the water absorb into the washcloth as much as possible, right? So now it's nice and wet. And then what's really cool about this, aside from just squeezing and doing grip strength or gripping repetitively, is what I like about this is that as you pick it up, the wet washcloth, you're going to try to squeeze, right? So you still get that gross grasp. Then you're going to, in your hand, rotate the washcloth around and squeeze again. So obviously your goal here is to get as much of the water out. But what's cool about this is it's so visual. Like you can see exactly what you're able to do, how strong that grip is, and how much of that water you're able to get out. So that's another fun one. I don't know if any of you have tried that before, but just test it out. Again, if this is you at home, easy stuff you could get your hands on and work on as well. Just again, listen to your body. When your hand is starting to get tired and fatigue, that means just rest, okay? And then lastly, I want to talk about the back of the hand. We call these the finger extensors. These are the muscles that help you open your hand. There is always so much emphasis on flexion, which is closing the hand, and for good reason, because that is kind of how we mostly operate with our hand. But those extensor muscles, meaning the muscles on the back of your hand, are very important too, right? So I'm going to give you two quick, easy exercises that you can do so that your fine motor home exercise routine is well-rounded. So all you're going to do is get some putty or clay, and you're going to just try to roll a snake. Simple. That's it. And what's fantastic about that is because as you roll the snake, I don't know if you can see, you don't even have to think about it. It just happens naturally. The back of the hands, those muscles, those fingers are working. They're extending, meaning coming up as you roll the snake. And you want to get that snake as long as you can and just go back and forth, back and forth. And that's really it. And I'm telling you, if you do this for a few minutes, you're going to feel it. Like I can feel it now. This is just some air dry clay. I did another video, like a standing weight bearing video showing using I made homemade Play-Doh and used that as my balls. I'll put that recipe in. You can Google it online too, just to make your own. You can make it in just a few minutes with like flour, water, salt, and I think vinegar. But anyway, the focus here is again working the muscles on the back of the hand. So just rolling that snake. And then one other one that's pretty decent. Most everyone probably has some kind of book or heavier manual type book at home. All you want to do is grab the book. If this is my weaker hand, I'll see if you can see. put it on top, like kind of that front half of the hand or the fingers. And then let me back this up a little. Then all you're going to do is try to lift the edge of the book and then slowly lower it back down. So think like doing a bench press, but your fingers are doing a bench press. You're just lifting the weight of the book and then just test it out. This is pretty thick. So if you test it and the book is too heavy, just get something lighter. Doesn't really matter. Again, it's just about repetition over and over again. And then when you're ready for some of the more challenging exercises and when you're ready to add resistance, these are some really simple things that you can do. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I don't know if you guys are already doing a really specific fine motor routine at home, but it is so important to just kind of attack and address all those areas. You know, you're going to do your strength, you're going to do your stretching, you're going to or strength for your arms, you're going to work on your legs, you're going to work on your balance, coordination, range of motion, all of those things. So this, I hope, is helpful. Let me know in the comments if this you have any questions about anything or you need suggestions for something specific that you're going through with your hand. Just shoot me a comment and I will definitely get back to you. Okay. So as always, I hope this was helpful. See y'all next time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more DIY videos to help you along the way in your stroke recovery. Struggling at home? Have a question? Leave me a comment. I'm here to help.